की है, कितनी पतली है, कितनी मोटी है, कितनी गोरी है, कितनी काली है. I don't know how do people have this, what power do they exert on strangers, and I don't know how do they get this liberty to pass such stupid comments.
घर की इज्जत तुम्हारे हाथों में है बेटी.
मैंने तोड़ा दी किताब छाप के. अब मैं क्या बोलूं इसके बारे में, बाकी सबको क्या बोलूं? I'm the wrong person to answer this question. I thought his name was Abhishek because he एक दिन sir test papers पकड़ा रहे थे and he said Abhishek and he took the sheet, and that's what I thought for the longest time. I did not feel safe when I used to be in public spaces. And I was not confident enough to have that kind of a communication with my folks also, so I can't blame them. My Masi has become very careful when she calls because she's also there in my book. And about, she's suggesting a lot of creams to me to enhance my bust size. So
It takes courage to combat every challenge in life and emerge as a winner. And popular author Tahira Kashyap has done exactly that to encourage many. Interestingly, her books have left the same indelible impact. As she gears up for the launch of her fourth and much anticipated book, 12 Commandments of Being a Woman, Tahira talks about it, husband Ayushmann Khurrana's reaction and contribution, among many other interesting things. And as Ayushmann said, the beautiful hot mind, Tahira, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me over. I don't know what hot mind is. I really need to sort of sit with him and ask him what is the definition of hot mind.
Well, what do you think he really meant by that?
I don't know, what does he mean? I don't know what has turned him on from my book and otherwise have my conversation. But I need to figure out, he is right now on his shoot and that's when he said all this. So I haven't spoken to him in person, but I should and really get to know what does he mean by that. Meanwhile, I'll take it as a compliment.
Wow. So the book has been generating a lot of buzz on social media. The Bollywood circuit is totally in awe of your writing and of course, the entire concept of the book. So could you in fact, tell us more about the concept? What exactly made you take this up? Was it the yawning gender inequality? Is it the sexist mindset, or is it the patriarchal system, that we've all sort of seen ourselves?
I think it's a culmination of everything and how you experience womanhood, especially when you experience it in a patriarchal setup. So definitely it has a role to play in your experiences of certain situations. But I also feel that, I write in a certain way, I have a certain sort of a voice. And so for the lack of, better observation that's what I saw, that there are a lot of there are less stories being written about women. There's only a handful. Even when it comes to books or when it comes to cinema, there's as much as is written about them and seen about them. And so if the number is less, then we easily get into the space of replication, and that becomes stereotypes. That's how you create stereotypes. I realized that we all are individuals. We have had our own experiences, and we really are not stereotypes. We're not like a similar prototype of each other. And so Chiki approached me. She's the publisher, and she was like, listen, I have been reading about what you've been writing on social media, or a few articles here and there, and I really like it. So do you think we can collaborate? And I was like, I would love to, but let me share something with you. And so I shared something, and she was pretty much in splits, and she was like, and I wrote about how I felt as a 13 or a 14-year-old girl. And she was like, do you have any more such anecdotes? I was like, my life is full of such incidents, and I can like bear it all out. And that's how it started. And I realized that I was picking up a lot of incidents from every phase of my life of having lived as a woman. And hence the 12 commandments of women just came into being, and here we are with the book.
Right. And you've also said in some of your interviews that the book will not really go down well with a lot of people. In fact, Ayushmann also said in his social media post that he does not want his parents to read the book. Now, why is that coming?
Oh God, probably once you read it, you will realize, and probably also wonder that what was this woman thinking when she wrote all of this. So yeah, it definitely perhaps would be a lot of women will be able to relate to it. A lot of men might just be intrigued, some might just laugh or smile. But people at my own house, they're having palpitations. So they're like, these were our stories. Like, so when it comes to I call him my skinnier half because he's actually unfortunately, he's a thinner one between the both of us. So he was like, did you have to really write about our bedroom stories? And I was like, it was a fun incident, and it has stayed with me, and I wanted to write about it, And similarly, when it comes to my parents, and they were like, we don't want to know about all the things that you did while we weren't at home. And so we'd like to believe, that we had a very nerdy, gawky, sweet sort of a daughter, but that's how every teenager behaves and functions. And women do have a lot of moments of pleasure which are just sort of attributed to men having them, but women. So I've written a whole lot about that, and I've just gone brutally honest. So I have to read and then probably. Yeah.
So you're talking about teenage experiences. There's also something about the teenage making out session. What's that? Now, that's something that you want to know about.
Yes, so I've written about that, and which is why I said that, people have a problem at my house, because I'm living with all those people, and really they are the courageous ones to have put up with a person like me. So so now everybody is very careful about what they say and what I've seen that ever since this book has come, my parents have started, they don't argue in front of me, and my mother has started speaking less in Punjabi in front of me. So she's like, you pick up my accent, you copy. I'm not going to say all of that. And I've noticed my Masi has become very careful when she calls, because she's also there in my book. And about, she's suggesting a lot of creams to me to enhance my bust size. So so all of such stuff. Yes. So that's what I'm saying, my family members, bachare, I really feel for them, and they become really careful as to how they speak in front of me. So yes, I did speak about my makeout sessions like any other boy would have had. Girls do also view it as a pleasurable experience, and it's just not for a biological need to procreate that one indulges in such activities.
Was there ever a phase when you were made to feel vulnerable because of your gender?
Of course, and ever since you're a kid, I mean to say, as a girl, I did not feel safe when I used to be in public spaces. And I was not confident enough to have that kind of a communication with my folks also, so I can't blame them. But when you're in such a situation, then you can't hold people guilty. The perpetrators need to be, they should feel guilty, and for creating an environment which is not safe for a 9 or a 10 or 11-year-old girl to probably stand in the queues to buy popcorn or to buy a ticket, or so, which is why yes, it's vulnerable. You feel vulnerable. I'm just talking about one of the 10,000 times that I have probably felt vulnerable, and a lot of us feel that, and I come from a small town. I come from Chandigarh, so be it on the streets, if you're just going out and you're when you are younger, you really don't have the courage to voice, because you're so just scared and intimidated all the time. And it was only when I held my own, and I was in my I guess in my 20s, when I started actually calling out. If somebody used to catcall, I used to turn back and really give the dirts. And some people used to get intimidated, but others still continue doing that. And then I had no other option but to actually move away for my own safety. But for the longest time, I could not. And I know many girls who do not, and can't speak for themselves in the sense, the environment which is created for them. So when you say vulnerable, there's so many ways in which the species is felt vulnerable, whether it's at workplaces, whether it's as simple as what is the standard AC of a boardroom or in a corporate house is very cold. And why do women feel cold? Because they're expected to wear a certain kind of dress code, and that kind of temperature is kept in mind, seeing the men who are always in their blazers or coats. So there's small things lead up to, so you feel, so that, which is why we are talking, which is why this book, which is why there are a lot of discussions around it, that you have to give equal opportunity, not just in terms of jobs, but even in terms of experiencing the same phenomena. So एक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है गेड़ी रूट का यहाँ पर, जहाँ पर लड़के अपने कार्स और स्कूटर्स और बाइक्स पे होते हैं, एंड इवन द गर्ल्स आर देयर ऑन देयर ओन व्हीकल्स, और वो एक दूसरे का पीछा करते हैं. Now, more often than not, some girls might like it, and I think the boys should have the sensibility to figure out if the girl is liking it. And fine, go ahead, encourage, whatever. But there's a big proportion of girls who do not like it. जिनको डर लगता है कि कौन है भाई, कौन इंसान है जो मेरे पीछे लग गया, मैं तो अपने घर जा रही हूँ, मुझे जाने दो अपने घर और मुझे सेफली पहुंचने दो, क्योंकि मुझे अपना घर का एड्रेस तुम्हें नहीं बताना, तो मेरे पीछे पीछे क्यों लगे हुए हो, मतलब इसमें क्या आपको मजे मिल रहे हैं अपार्ट फ्रॉम गिविंग मी एंजाइटी. So and such things are really glorified in a whole lot of mediums. So I feel it was very important to talk about that, and I have spoken about that.
So how is Ayushmann as a spouse? मतलब आप उनको फ्रॉगी बुलाते थे, आप फिजिक्स ट्यूशन में उनको चेकआउट करते थे, ये कब से आप कुछ बताएंगे? 12th स्टैंडर्ड से ये शुरू हो गया था, बट व्हाई फ्रॉगी? व्हाई डिड यू कॉल आयुष्मान खुराना फ्रॉगी?
Because he was not Ayushmann Khurrana what he is today, and honestly speaking, at that point of time, he was someone whom I had a crush on at my physics tuition. So every tuition had my prospective crushes. Biology पे ये है, physics पे ये है, chemistry पे ये है. And so when we were attending tuitions, we were like a batch of 70 to 80 kids. And again, it's a very small town kind of a thing that a girl can't or should not indulge too much of a conversation, because then you termed you have some such funny terms to sort of describe them, that lose or whatever character assassination होती है basically.
I know.
And किस चीज पे हो रही है? Because you just want to know the boy's name, which is so silly. And so that was a time that I didn't know his name, and of course froggy happened much later in the relationship, but I used to just call him, I thought his name was Abhishek, because he एक दिन sir test papers पकड़ा रहे थे, and he said Abhishek, and he took the sheet, and that's what I thought for the longest time. So and then once we got to know each other, of course, then I got to know his name, and these are words that you just use for each other. That's
Now, how would you rate Ayushmann on the scale of 5 when it comes to his sense of humor?
5.
All right. His acting prowess?
4.
Okay. As husband?
3.5.
Okay. As a lover? As a lover before marriage?
3.5. Consistency रही है बंदे में.
Okay. And his language skills?
Oh, so he's very good with his Hindi and equally good with English. So 3.5, 4 maybe.
Don't have sex before marriage, you'll turn impure.
Oh God, that's really that's ridiculous, and that's something that I've written about in my book too. And I sort of, again, if you have this kind of a environment and society and this kind of a message which has been thrown at you time and again, you start sort of adhering to it. And I did try to be rebellious in my own way, because right after we got engaged, I was like, this is the time we should do it. And then I have it's in there in other chapters about how what transpired eventually. But I think it's ridiculous. You're an adult, you can take a decision for yourself.
Nobody will marry you if you're seen with other men.
क्या बोलूं अब, बहुत ही वाहियात बात है ये. And I mean to say, I think I would not like to marry such a person who would have this sort of a thinking. And so I think for women, अगर कोई आपको ये चीज बोलता है, if somebody tells you this to you, then in your head, then you know whom you don't want to be with. You don't want to be with this person who has this sort of a thinking. So life has made much easier for you in case you're in a doubt whether I should be with this guy or not. So yeah.
तुम्हारी शादी तुम्हारे भाई से पहले हो जानी चाहिए.
क्या? अच्छा अगर भाई बड़ा भी हो तो भी बहन को पहले शादी करनी पड़ेगी.
पहले शादी करनी चाहिए.
कैसी बातें हैं ना यार ये. Oh my God, like it really it boils your blood to an extent कि आपको हंसी आती है. कितना ही गुस्सा करो. Of course यार, you have to debunk all this trash and जिसको शादी करनी है करे, जिसको नहीं करनी है करे. लड़का लड़की का इसमें क्या लेना देना है.
घर की इज्जत तुम्हारे हाथों में है बेटी.
मैंने तो उड़ा दी किताब छाप के. अब मैं क्या बोलूं इसके बारे में, बाकी सबको क्या बोलूं. आई एम द रॉन्ग पर्सन टू आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन.
Pregnancy will ruin your body. It will take away all the best things about your body. What do you have to say?
And so this comes from which segment of society? Like the parents say this or the husbands?
Yeah. No. The parents. It's not even parents. You know, your friends. It usually comes from friends. No. Yeah, jaldi pregnant mat hona shaadi se. मतलब शादी after you get married, don't get pregnant that easily because it will completely ruin your body.
So I don't know how everybody has this. They feel they have this right over a person. So if a newly bride, you've not even met the bride and the bride has come, you'll go on to say, "Hi, कितनी सुक्की है, कितनी पतली है, कितनी मोटी है, कितनी गोरी है, कितनी काली है." I don't know how do people have this. What power do they exert on strangers? And I don't know how do they get this liberty to pass such stupid comments and statements. So I feel we should, if somebody tells you when to have a baby and when not to have a baby, tell them to mind their own business. अपने घर की population संभालें और दूसरों की life में मत दखल दे.
Don't lift weights. तू क्या करेगी मसल बना के?
अबे यार कितनी सारी चीजें होती है ना. I mean to say, gosh. Again, yeah, I think these people really need to, the people who are saying this need to really exercise their mental muscle power and really need to know more about people and the choices that they make. So, yeah.
Are you PMSing?
No, that really can't be a reason for a woman feeling angry or irritated. If she's expressing her discomfort or her unhappiness, it cannot be PMSing all the time.
What's your favorite position?
No, but this is what people ask.
Yeah. So I was, in fact, I think this was also asked to Ariana Grande, and you know what she said? CEO. She thought for a couple of seconds and she said CEO.
Lovely. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. I agree. I completely agree with her. That's the position.
You're 30. When are you getting married?
Oh, wow. Just when, wow. No, before I don't know what to say to these people and these obnoxious sort of things that they have in their head. What do they have got to do with when I'm turning what? And I've also heard to add to that, you know, you should start freezing your eggs and, you know, all of that. Pata nahi how do these? I don't think these people should have the power to make such comments. And I think they really should be shamed, yaar. अपने काम से काम मत रखना यार. What do you have got to do with how old I'm turning?
Have kids. सारी marriage related जो problems होती है ना, बच्चे के साथ सब सुलझ जाता है.
People, do they have a school business? Do they have a nursery running? Do they have a kindergarten? Like, why do they propagate people to have kids? Is it so that they join them and they make business for them? What vested interest do they have in other people's? Or maybe they're sadists and they can't enjoy other people's happiness for a very long time. And so I'll be very honest, I have been in that boat. So I had one kid and I was propagating the same to another friend of mine who was contemplating. So she asked me for my opinion. It's not that I just went ahead. And I was like, no, you must. And then I was not very strong about it. I was like, yeah, if you feel like, then go ahead. And once I had my second one, I was like, dude, this is not cool. Like, here I have two and this person doesn't even want, she doesn't deserve to be that happy. And then I went, like, you know, it's the most beautiful thing to happen to you. So I really feel people function from the you know, area of being sadists and they can't see other people's happiness.
तू feminist है, तुझसे तो बच के रहना पड़ेगा.
Oh wow. Right. So I'm so glad. So bach ke hi raho, don't come into my vicinity because here you don't know about equal rights, and if equality means people are going, women PMSing and women being frustrated or they have not had sex, because that's, if they have an opinion, you better not be in my vicinity in bach ke hi raho times. Yeah.
And the last one, उसे सीटी तो मारी है, इसमें क्या बड़ी बात हो गई?
तो ठीक है यार, मैं भी थप्पड़ मार देती हूँ, इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है, थप्पड़ ही तो है, and that's what it is, no? So it's just, yeah, I'll do the same thing. Let me take you in front of other people, let me give you a tight slap, let me call you names, and let me do all that to you. Let me run you under the car. Sorry.
So thank you so much for speaking to us and making the interview so interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.